But on the line with us right now is Congressman Mark Pocan. And, there we go. Pocan.house.gov is the website. He's a Democrat from Wisconsin representing the 2nd District. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us. So we spoke with Congressman Grayson a little earlier. He told us about the meeting you all had. But what's your take on what's happening with the House and with Paul Ryan, basically running for cover?
Well, they're afraid to take on the gun lobby and the NRA. It's their funders, and they simply won't stand up to them and listen to their constituents. And I think what was really interesting, it was very organic when this started yesterday. I think the fact that people are just fed up, and we're hearing it from our constituents, and as members of Congress, we were fed up, that we finally just had to do something. And taking the floor seemed to be that move. Members were completely in. We were able to speak for our constituents, even though Paul Ryan tried to shut down our mics and our cameras. And, it was really, I think, one of the most amazing moments, and it's really just the start. Now we're going to take this to the streets. We're going to go back to our districts and re-engage our constituents even more. And then when we come back, I think we're ready to take more action. So this is something where until we can get some resolution on gun violence, we are not going to be satisfied.
Yeah, I was looking at Democratic Underground during the break, and there's a YouTube clip from 1968 from the old Martin and Rowan and Martin Laughin program, where they gave the first ever Flying Fickle Finger of Fate award to the United States Congress. This is 1968. The United States Congress for failing to pass comprehensive gun legislation.
Yeah, and, we've done this moment of silence after moment of silence after moment of silence in Congress, and we never have a moment of action.
Yeah.
And I think after watching what happened in Orlando, people have just really had it. And I'm just really proud of the way the public and our constituents all had our backs, the way social media really got this story out there as they shut down the C-SPAN cameras. We were able to use social media, and then C-SPAN picked that up. And people, I don't even think we would have got the attention had Speaker Ryan not tried to be so undemocratic. We wouldn't have been able to get this message out as strongly as we did.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. So Speaker Ryan has said you're going to take a 2-week vacation here and come back after a week and a half or whatever it is until the 5th of July. When Congress reconvenes right after the 4th of July. Any idea what the plans are, or is that top secret, or what's going on?
Well, I mean, their plans were they literally scurried away in the middle of the night to close down session.
They being the Republicans.
Yeah, the Republicans, because they can't handle this issue, and they couldn't handle their members on this issue.
Right.
What we're going to do, I think the next step is we're going back to our districts to take it to the streets. We want to re-engage our constituents, and we're going to do this across the country. And then when we get back, we're going to be ready to do all the more. So this was really a battle in a bigger war on gun violence, but we are all very committed. I think everyone left there realizing we were even more committed as a group, and that made us even stronger. And this is just the start. And I think as long as the public engages with us and takes on the people who are absolutely unwilling to do anything about gun violence, we've got some tremendous potential.
Yeah, yeah. What else has your attention right now, Congressman Pocan?
I'll tell you, I got to admit, I mean, right now I've got a couple hours of sleep. I got a fresh shirt and tie, and that's about it from, because we were on the floor almost nonstop working on this. This is the big issue. I think this is the moment we need to seize on this.
Yes.
I've been in, I was in the legislature for 14 years. I was in local government, and now, doing this in my 2nd term. And when you get a moment like this, you have to seize on it. And if we all of a sudden pivot to talking about health care or talking about something else, as much as they're all very important issues, you can lose the momentum, and we have tremendous momentum right now. This is our chance that even in a screwed-up Congress, with the Republicans so busy fighting the Republicans that we can't get anything done, we have an opportunity to get our foot in the door and get something done about gun violence. So I really am very, strongly trying to figure out what our next steps are, just not only in our district, but, across what we're going to do in Congress on this issue. So,
right.
As you know, there's many important issues, Tom, right now. I mean, this is just one of those extremely unique moments.
Yeah, one of the old-fashioned solutions or responses, I guess, to this sort of thing would be to say, okay, Congress is going on vacation for a week and a half or so, which means that a lot of members of Congress are going to go back to their districts and meet with their folks, which is what you just said you're going to do, and get their opinions and get their thoughts on what to do and going forward. But I've been noticing over the last, particularly over the last 5-6 years, that Republicans tend just not to even do that anymore. They're not even holding town halls anymore. They're just doing fundraisers. They're going back and meeting with small groups of wealthy people, but the average person doesn't really have a chance to talk to them. Any suggestions for what our viewers and listeners who are represented by one of these Republican obstructionists might appropriately do to get the attention of those members of Congress?
I would engage them anywhere and everywhere. If they're having a fundraiser and you find out about it, be outside that fundraiser. But here's the one thing that I would say 95% of members of Congress do. On July 4th, there are parades. And, you can't stop a Republican and a flag and a parade. And they will be there, and we should be there. And we should make sure that they are hearing us while they're going through those parade routes, and don't let them, just go back to, hanging out with the NRA lobbyists. Make them realize that the people in their district want and demand action, and anything less than that is unacceptable. And don't forget, every single member of the House is up for election in November. This is our opportunity to create that change.
Yeah. I wonder how many Republicans are going to decide not to show up for the parades.
I'll tell you, the way they scurried away in the middle of the night, literally in the dark of night, is just so becoming of what happened. And watching the floor action, a few of the conservatives would laugh as you're reading the names of victims, who have died because of gun violence.
Seriously?
It was pathetic is the only thing you could say. Representative Louis Gohmert came over to the Democratic side, almost got a fight with people. I mean, this is why Paul Ryan had to shut it down. He has no control over that caucus. You've got the extreme right wing and the right wing, and that's about all you got left. A few moderates are leaving Congress because they can't take it anymore, and that's why we've had no action. So, Paul Ryan, this has been, I think, in many ways his darkest week or two, because he can't, not only can he not handle his caucus, but he can't handle this issue. And I think this is, again, that opportunity that, we can make some huge gains in changing some of these faces.
So for somebody who's represented by a Democrat, what would you suggest? I mean, I put out earlier the congressional switchboard numbers, 202-225-3121, and you can call. If you don't know who represents you in Congress, give them your zip code. They'll tell you, and they'll connect you with the office. But you could call and you could thank your Democrat. Are there other things that you would suggest?
Yeah, a thank you goes a really long way, because trust me, we hear from the other folks. So, calling your member and thanking them for doing it, but then ask them, just to make sure that they keep pushing for more, because, this is really getting, in some ways, a foot in the door, and some might even argue a toe in the door if we can get a couple of these bills done around background checks and around no fly, no buy. But, there's still, I think, issues that need to be talked about around military-style assault weapons and other things. So, this is that opportunity. And if we take advantage of this unique moment, I think we could have some tremendous successes. So thank them and ask them to do more.
Yeah. Yeah, and the next step, it seems in my mind, would be the assault weapon ban, which was supported by Republicans at one time. I mean, Ronald Reagan was all in favor of this.
Well, it was in place from '94 for a decade.
Yeah.
It's something that clearly would address what we just saw happen in Orlando. And, I personally think it's a strong step for us to do, but right now we can't even get the door open. So I think by getting the door nudged open with some of this legislation that is supported by, in some cases, over 90% of the public, this is our really window of opportunity. Right.
This really demonstrates, that study that Page and Gillens published out of Princeton back almost a year ago now, it seems, that the wishes of the top 10% of Americans are made into law, between 40 and 60% of the time. The wishes of the bottom 90% of Americans, the probability of those desires happening legislatively are equivalent to random noise, in this Republican-controlled legislature. it's we have just become an oligarchy. It's a terrible thing.
And in this, again, this moment, what's unique is if just the social media, the traffic and the way it came out in the social media, we saw a way to have the grassroots work on this. And I think that's what's unique around this issue.
Yeah. This is Shana was telling me earlier. This is the disruptive technology. It's Black Lives Matter used it. The Bernie campaign used it. Now you guys occupy the House. You're using Congressman Mark Pocan, one of the really great ones. Hang on just a second, Congressman.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit thomhartmann.com for audio and video archives.
His website, pocan.house.gov, and you can tweet him at Mark Pocan, Pocan, Mark. Congressman, thank you.
Absolutely.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.